Welcome back. Welcome back. Hello, everyone. It's Joni here at Joni's Journals. I want to let you know that it is Saturday. This video will probably come out on Sunday or maybe late Saturday evening. I don't know. I know that I am in competition with Mr. Tim Holtz, who's doing his Halloween release, and I must confess it's on my TV in front of my face right up there. So I want to thank everyone and say hi, Angie, how are you, for the lovely feedback on this project. I really didn't expect to get as many views as I did. I also did not expect to get so many kind comments and positive comments. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Today we are going to be finishing up our little decoration. And yes, I cheated. I added something without you, but I have to let you know that I used my collage medium yesterday, and I used it on something, and I really can't remember right now what it was I used it on, but it squirted out funny. And it was because I hadn't shook it up. And so I made sure to shake it up this morning, about 10 minutes ago, before I started filming. And I added this little doodad here, which is a Tim Holtz, it's a screw head. He's got so many, and I have a few of them in different sizes. So I don't remember exactly which one it is, but I just wanted to make sure that the glue was working and that we could finish up this whole little kit and caboodle today without having any problem with our glue. Now, I do have to let you know that yesterday, if you remember, I was kind of upset because my hoop fastener here didn't look like it was on straight with the rest of the items that we added. Well, I realized that it was this little piece, the quote chip. You're probably not even going to notice the difference, but the quote chip was lopsided. So in my most delicate way, I ripped the quote chip off and I reapplied it. And so now, at least to my satisfaction, the whole thing seems a little bit straighter. And so, yeah. Okay, so we fixed up the boo-boo. Now, I also want to let you know that I have picked out elements, and this is one of them. I don't know what they're called. They're one of the little Tim Holtz sign plaques. I have several of them, and I went through and I found that I did have 2 of this one. So I said, okay, well, use your wings. If you remember, our little chat yesterday was that these 2 little boys are off to school to learn their ABCs and their 1, 2, 3s. And so I figured when you're off to school, you want to use your wings and fly to do your best. So I thought this would be appropriate. Now, you'll notice also that there's a hole on this side. If you can see it, there's a little hole right there. Hopefully you're seeing it through my finger if I'm not too close. And on this one, you can't see the hole, okay? What I have done is I have taken one of my little paper fasteners, and my TV is swirling. Please don't let the storm be that bad. We're still expecting that tropical storm. We got a lot of rain, a lot of wind, a lot of thunder, some lightning. Little Mr. Whiskey was outside yesterday in all his joy, sitting outside while it was thundering. The lightning was far enough away I could see it to the north of my backyard over the water, so I was a little hesitant to let him stay out there, but I wasn't too worried. Okay, back to the story. My little paper fastener, and I usually tend to use longer ones when I do this, so I have a long one, and what I do is I just simply put it through the hole, and then I will just wrap it closed. Oh, I hear thunder. That could be why we're swirling around. And I just lay the whole thing over as tight as I can onto the back to make it stay put, okay? And it's a little bit loose, but not too bad, Now you'll also notice that this is a little blue in the background. What I do, how I achieve that is just, this is an old trick that I learned ages ago. In this case, I took my distress crayon in weathered wood, and all that you do is you scrape back and forth across the letters like so, and you will lose your letters at first. Let me close this up. But then you just go in, you can see I already started. And you can use a wet wipe, baby wipe, whatever. You just go back in and you rub over it. And what that does, basically, the warmth of your finger has a lot to do with it, I believe, too. It just wipes all that extra crayon off the top and pushes the balance of it down to the bottom. Now, you're not going to play football with this. Yes, the crayon could possibly all come off, but if you're not playing football with it, and I wouldn't recommend playing football with anything that you make, well, unless it's a ball. Yeah. It'll stay. I've done it on other little items. Yeah, it's a little too far away for me to grab, but other little, like Tim Holtz makes. You know what? Let me show you. Hang on. Okay, I'm standing up to show you, and I'm doing it sideways. But this is a little Halloween bookshelf that I made last year. And whoopsie, it does light up. My tiny lights are hooked up inside there, and my husband is the best for drilling all the little holes for me. But you can see that because I didn't play football with it, I did it here on the words The Apothecary. Maybe if I bring it down a little. I did it with a white crayon. And so it does stay. So like I said, just don't play football with it. Let me just put this back. And you may have noticed on that make also that I used some of those flowers from the bouquet that I showed you yesterday on, whoopee, hang on. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, you can hear all that knocking around. These are the bouquet flowers I showed you yesterday when I showed you this make. Those are the same flowers, they're just in a different color. So yeah, use your crayons, don't play football, you can do it too. Okay, I think the first thing and the most important thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna put our embroidery hoop, we're gonna glue it down to our page. And so I'm just gonna grab up my big Lamazza bottle of PVA glue and take a sip of coffee. Okay, and I think we'll put this down first. I'm gonna move you just a smidge. Okay, I hope I didn't make you seasick. I can't see around my tripod. I really have to work this year on trying to figure out a better way to record my videos, because this tripod is just, it's got this big chunky part in the middle and it just gets right in my face. All right, what I think I'm going to do is I liked the idea of adding that little leaf down there. It just gave it a little something something. And then I'm going to place my embroidery hoop down, and I'm just going to eyeball it to make sure that it's in the center. But I also want to bring down my leaves just a smidge so that you can see them peeking out. Granted, a lot of it is hidden, but it just adds something, because what I want to do, and I may have to move this up just a bit. Let's make sure it's straight. Okay. I want to add this at the bottom. Now, this is going to be a little bit tricky to add. And what I may do is, I don't know what kind of glue I want to use. What I may do is add this as the very last element, because I may have to figure out a way to clamp this down so that it stays. Because I like the fact that it's raised Can you even see what I'm doing? I like the fact that it's raised up, but because of these, there is a bumpiness, and I'm not too sure that I want to trim these. I could trim the tips of the paper fasteners, but I don't think I want to do that. All right. So I'm saying that that's just about center there, and I think it is. And so I'm just gonna kind of eyeball that my little leaves need to go about here, like so, and my little embroidery hoop needs to go around there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue down these leaves. I'm gonna show you how I do that. Again, I'm using PVA glue because it gives me just that little extra time to be able to, I had a paper napkin, to be able to play around with moving this stuff. Now what I do is I just take, because this has these little, oh, excuse me, I have the hiccups, these little bumpy parts, that's about the best I can figure. I just go and I apply glue to the ends of the little bumpy parts. I don't worry too much about the stem at this point, and I'll just keep adding some glue to the bumpy parts. The little leaves, that's what they're called. Silly girl. And yeah, I'll add glue there. And then I'll just take up and I'll just dab a little bit of glue along the stem here. And there we go. All right, let's grab this and lay it down. If I remember correctly, it's set perfectly right about here, like that. And let's make sure. This is going to be another one of those times where I'm going to have to tilt this up, I believe. Okay, I think we could have come down a little bit further. So that's what, oops, that's what I'm going to do. See, that's why I like the PVA. If it had been any other kind of a fast-grabbing glue, we wouldn't have been able to move it at all. All right. Okay, it's just peeking out just enough on both sides. And I'll wipe off this excess glue. And then we're going to add our embroidery hoop. And although I did not make a sample for you, I have figured out a way that you can kind of just make circles to give the impression of it being an embroidery hoop. I would have used my die cuts, but I was running so far behind this morning. I've been preparing signatures and ephemera for the Compendium Revamp Journal, which I showed you a quick glimpse of the cover yesterday. Yeah, that I was running out of time. I really wanted to get my video done, and so that I could upload it before the storm comes. And I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, so I didn't have time to cut out the circles. So I will do that. When I do the Compendium Revamp, I will have those circles prepared. And so I'll show you how to do that. But if you make one circle, like, oh gosh, what is that? About 1/4 of an inch smaller than the other, you can work with your inks and you can create an impression. I've just figured out where I want to put my little embroidery hoop while I was chatting away. And so I'm just making a little mark here and a little mark here because it'll help me center it once I pull it back up. You can create the impression that it is sort of like an embroidery hoop. By inking, or maybe if you wanted to use your markers, if any of you have gone out and bought the Crayola markers, or if you own Tombow markers, or heck, you could even use a Sharpie and ink around where you have laid the smaller circle onto the bigger circle and get the impression that that is the edge is the embroidery hoop. Okay, now, is that in the center? I think it's in the center, and I think we're good. I think it's straight. Yeah, just moving that little quote chip made all the difference in the world yesterday. And so I felt a little bit better, and I had to tell you all what I did. Okay, now you'll notice I did not glue this part down. I don't feel it needs it. It kind of gives the shadow effect to me, if you're looking at it, that you would get if it was really an embroidery hoop. Okay, so let me just make sure that that is glued down. Now, as far as these little elements go, the screw heads, let me grab one, because of course I can't. The screw heads, when I put them down in the corners, I've done this on a few makes, things that I don't normally show on video. I might go out and see if I can find a few. I made my daughter a plaque with her name on it. She collects license plates. And so I made a little plaque using Tim Holtz scrapbook paper, and it's a whole license plate background. And so yeah, I made her that, and I believe that's one that I added the screw heads to. I just kind of eyeball it and make sure that they're in the right place on whatever it is I happen to be making. Keep your fingers crossed. I hope this glue comes out. Okay. Now this glue, really, I'm not singing Timmy's praises today, but this is the best. If you're working with two different kinds of media, like I used the Fabri-Tac for glue and paper, for fabric and paper, this works so well with these little metal elements. There goes my printer right on target. We have got to figure out what is wrong with it. Not only am I wasting my black ink because it prints out something every single day, but it seems to come out at the time that I start to record. Okay, as I was saying, I'm using a little wet wipe here. This stuff is great for gluing the metal to paper. Oh, I shifted it because I wanted to make sure they were even. And it grabs on really quickly. Now you can see I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I've tried measuring this once before, and I just made myself very angry. And so now I just eyeball them. So you can see they're just about even. Okay, hopefully you can see that on both sides. And then I'm just going to grab the other two and stick those on and chit-chat with you while I'm doing that. And I try to line them up from top to bottom and side to side. It doesn't always work side to side, so I will, in this case, I will keep going with the top to bottom. Okay. As long as I have them even this way, then I'm pretty happy. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, this glue works really well when you're applying these little metal elements onto something that is paper, and it clings on almost immediately. It really just does. I wouldn't say, throw it around the room. Again, we're not playing football with our creations, but I would just say that it's glued to the touch, okay? Almost immediately. I know it probably takes about 24 hours to cure. I'm not going to sit here and read it while I'm making. And again, that's pretty even. We might want to just push it up a smidge or over. But are you going to stand there? Honestly, when you go to someone's house and you look at their artwork, be it what they make or what they have hanging in their home, do you go up there with a ruler? I don't think so. Okay, close enough. Yes. And now we're just going to add the last one. And then I am going to try and figure out the best way to add this little plaque on at the bottom. I'll line that one up with this one. And again, close enough for it to make me happy. And I hope you're finding this pleasing as well. I do want to let you know I had some trouble uploading my video this morning. And when I start to have YouTube gets fussy with me, I hesitate to add a lot of things onto my description box. So in lieu of reposting all of the items that I used for this make in the video that came out this morning, I put in a reference to the first video. I should have actually linked it. That would have been a nice thing to do. Because YouTube was being fussy, and when YouTube is fussy, it will knock me out of an upload, and it's just really hard sometimes to get back in, especially when I get lucky that it's starting to upload. All right, guys, we are going to try this, and I am going to look for some of my little clips. Let's see if maybe it'll work with these, if I can hold it down. Well, I do have one big little matzo thing here. If I can hold it down, once I attach it, we will call this a day. I will not lift it up once I apply this, because it will probably fall apart. All right, I am just going to add a healthy amount of collage medium. I should actually buy this stuff by the caseful because of how often I use it. And okay. Well, that wasn't good. All right, now we definitely need a wet wipe. Okay. All right, we're good. I think we're good. All right. There we go. Okay. As I was saying, I should buy this stuff by the caseload based on how often I use it. All right. I am just going to lay this down in here and try and center it. And I'm going to push it down. And I'm going to hold it. And I'm going to say thank you all so very much for coming along and playing with me. This was really fun. I enjoy making things like this, and like that little house. There are a few shorts on my YouTube channel where I do show you different things that I've made. I love Halloween. I make a lot of Halloween makes, much to my husband's chagrin, because then he has to drill the little holes in the boxes of whatever I happen to make. I had high hopes of making one for Christmas last year. I had a whole little Christmas fantasy land planned out. I bought all of the bottle brush trees that I could afford to buy, and it came to nil because I was just too busy to get it done. I will probably try to accomplish that this year. I do have a few houses and things that I make that sit out on my shelves and under our, it's not staying, under our living room TV. And this is why I didn't want to let go. Okay, I'm going to hold this down, and I'm going to grab clips while I'm doing it, and I am just going to clip this and make sure that it's straight. I do make a lot of things, as I was saying, for Halloween. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave it like this that I decorate my house with. And I really want to try and make one for Christmas. So maybe I'll do parts of it on camera with you. If you guys seem to enjoy this. I will be back. I will be videoing later on, or probably right after this one, because I do have so much stuff set up for the compendium revamp journal that I might be able to get in another video and show you what I'm doing. But here we go. All right. Ignore the little paper clips down there, because that's what's holding this whole thing together. And I'm just looking now to make sure that it's actually in the center, and I might have to move it a bit, but I will do that off camera. So there we go, guys, gals, friends, Romans, countrymen. There's our little make. And as I said, I will go and I will make a bigger circle and a smaller circle, ink it up, and show you what I mean by doing this. It doesn't have to be an embroidery hoop. It could just be, it doesn't have to be a decoration. As the title of this series says, journal topper or decor. You can choose. All right? Lots of love, big hugs. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you soon. I'll be back in a little while to record the compendium revamp, which we started a few days ago. Okay, guys? Lots of love. Big hugs. Like, subscribe, comment. See you soon. Bye.